Рады вас приветствовать в Российском университете дружбы народов. Вот, мы сегодня будем с вами говорить о
talk about collaboration within Shanghai Cooperation Organization. We want to talk about the space of trust that the students from SCO member states create. We will talk about the SCO spirit and the spirit of SCO University. I am Denis Dekterov. I'm head of an international department of Rudian University. Together with me, we have Evgenia Katkova. And now I would like to pass the floor over to her so that she can say a few introductory words. Good morning, colleagues. I am going to say a few words in Chinese, and then I will translate that into Russian. Good morning and welcome to our conference. I am very happy to have all of you with us today. This is a great opportunity. SCO University gives students from all over the place an opportunity to learn very many things related to our countries. We have successful collaboration between a large number of universities in our member states. We do a lot in the field of education. This is a good opportunity for cooperation, for doing things together. We hope that Shanghai Spirit is going to move us towards new heights. We assume that there is a strong foundation that we can build upon. We have many friends. We have friends in Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, China, many other countries. Thank you very much to all of you. We have very many friends from Shanghai Cooperation Organization member states. We are happy to have an opportunity to do things together in the field of education. Our countries cooperate in very many different fields. Education is just one of them. SCO University gives us a great opportunity. It is a wonderful platform for students from our countries. We can study languages, we can study each other's cultures. We can have a better idea of what goes on in our countries. We are talking about Shanghai Spirit. We're very happy to have it, and we are happy to welcome students from China, from Central Asian countries, from Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan. We are very glad to welcome you at this round table. I don't want to take much time. We have several presentations that we're going to take today. Thank you very much. Thank you, Evgenia. We are really and truly happy to welcome our colleagues. SCO University is about most advanced formats of studies. In our international department, we deal with regional studies. That is our specialization within SCO University. Let me once again say that we have a very special spirit of trust. We communicate with master program students, with graduate students. We meet new people, make new friends. We create this space of trust. As Evgenia said, we have partners that we have worked with for a long time. I don't want to spend time listing them all. We're very happy to have people from Daolan Institute of Foreign Languages. I have visited that university more than once, and I'm very happy that we are working together. Without further ado, let me pass the floor to Amantai Jildus, Abi Kizi, Rudian University, A Path to Science. That is the subject of the presentation. Good morning. I'm Jildis Amantai, and I am very happy that we have SCO University, which is a great platform for students who want to study in different universities. We know that international programs open great opportunities for students. Students can get a high level of knowledge and get good skills. Students can then work internationally, and they will get a lot of experience. They make a lot of friends in different parts of the world. I'm sure this program is going to grow. SU University is focused on collaboration in training of specialists in different fields. I came from Kazakhstan National University in 2017. Over the first year, I have learned a lot in this school, and there were many things that I did in the way of international programs. I participated in an international forum organized by CIS countries. It was attended by many famous people from our countries, people known in the field of science and culture, people representing various public organizations. In 2018, I graduated from master's program of my home university at Rudian University. I have received a degree in psychology. In 2019, I joined a postgraduate program in Rudian University. It's a teaching program. Right now, I am doing a lot of research. I am an author of many articles. I have participated in many scientific conferences. I'm getting a lot of new knowledge. This year, in 2020, I have found a job with the university. I am very thankful to the professors at Rudian University and in Kazakhstan National University. Thank you very much for all your support. Thank you for the opportunity to pursue this career. Thank you very much. Very well. You have said a very important thing. We have students who come to us through networking university programs. They come to study in Rudian University, and then they become integrated in our academic and scientific community. Many of these students will then stay here and work for our university. Rudian is a member of 5 Top 100 program. We have a lot of international professors. In our division, we have more than 15 international professors. Some of them are fairly young. They have studied in our university as international students. This was a very good experience for them. If I may, I would like to add a couple of points. If anyone has questions for presenters or for any of us, the floor is always open. We welcome your questions. I have a question for our first presenter. Would you tell us about SCO University? Some people say that it needs better promotion. We need to make people more aware of this. What are the best things that you can say about this university? I'm very happy that I ended up in this program. The greatest opportunity was to receive 2 degrees, 2 certificates. I got a certificate of graduation from my university and from the partner university. I encourage everyone to join this program because you can get an opportunity to study in different countries. This is a unique opportunity. Not everyone can get this kind of chance. Well, thanks. I wanted to say this because we really want to see more students joining our programs. They are very exciting. They're very interesting. You're going to spend a year in a different country. Enjoy the new atmosphere. I hope this kind of conference will help more students to find international programs that will take them to universities in different countries. Shanghai Cooperation Organization is growing. We have new members like India and Pakistan. We are looking into the options of cooperation with universities in those countries. Our big long-term goal is to create the atmosphere of trust and prosperity in Eurasia. We want to promote scientific and cultural exchanges. I think this will be good for all of us. I think this is going to be great for our countries. We were planning to give the floor to Sultanat Azbekova and Aykurva Aziza from Eurasian University. The name of the university suggests that we have a common Eurasian space. However, Yevgeny is telling me that we are not going to have these presenters at this point in time. Yes, we indeed scheduled 2 presentations that we thought were important. We have people who are in regional study programs, and these 2 participants from Kazakhstan, they are studying environmental programs, and we really thought that this would be great to hear something exciting about the environmental programs. However, these colleagues could not join our video conference. We're still happy that Eurasian National University is working closely with us. We are always happy to do things together with them. Kazakhstan is really a sister country for us. So we are now ahead of schedule, and the next presentation will be made by Maria Navdaeva from Moscow State Linguistic University. This is one of the core universities in regional studies for Shanghai Cooperation Organization University. We are going to hear about the master's program of SCO University. Over to you, Marina. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, friends. First of all, I would like to say thank you for an opportunity to be with you in this video conference. I'm a second-year student in the master's program. I am in the regional studies program at Moscow State Linguistic University. Our university has a bilateral agreement on master's programs with 10 SCO member state universities. However, we have worked most actively with 3 countries, with Chinese universities, Beijing Foreign Languages Institute and Dalan Institute of Foreign Languages. Over 3 years, 12 students from our university went to those Chinese universities, and we have received 83 students from China. In summer of 2020, Moscow Linguistic University received 12 master program students from China. This year, the situation is different because of the coronavirus pandemic. We mostly have distant learning. We planned to send 6 master students from our university to China. However, due to the epidemic, only 1 university, that is Beijing University of Foreign Languages, received 1 exchange student. So this year, I was lucky to study in Beijing University of Foreign Languages. We have online programs using Tencent Meeting platform. The studies are focused on languages. It's all about studying Chinese language. There are 5 different subjects, 3 of which are compulsory and 2 are optional. Students study the Chinese language, written and verbal. I have also chosen a few other subjects, writing in Chinese and extended vocabulary. We started learning at 8 o'clock in the morning. That is 1 o'clock Beijing time. We have classes 5 days a week.
What is the advantage of an internship in a Chinese university? First of all, this is about a daily communication with the native speakers, with the teachers, which helps us to increase the comprehension of the Chinese speech. During the studies, we get better learning for the customs and traits of the culture. And we focus on the studying of the economics and politics, and the daily speech is not so popular in my university. Therefore, an internship helps us to increase our knowledge and our excellence there in order to lift the communication barrier. What are the problems and challenges that we face? First of all, the quality of the internet communication. Not always the communication is stable. Very often we have some sound problems, therefore, for this very reason, audition was somehow cancelled as a subject. Also, an internship allows us to use the immersion technique to plunge into the Chinese culture. And thirdly, we can take part in the events held by the university. Summing up, it should be noted that despite the above-mentioned difficulties and challenges, I'm grateful for the opportunity within that term to do an internship in the Beijing Institute of Foreign Languages, because this is a great chance to improve my fluency in the Chinese language. And besides, our Moscow State Linguistic University hopes in future to deepen its cooperation with other universities of the SCO. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution. You have highlighted a number of troublesome problems or issues, and I do think that these problems can be addressed subtly. Connection, this is a regular problem, but for instance, if the professor failed to get connected, to stay connected or stay tuned in, we just ask him to have these classes for the second time, and therefore, actually, we may eliminate this problem. There is a more sophisticated problem, which also can be addressed. It lies in the regional studies abroad. We have a lot of regional studies students. That the essence is you go to China in order to study the Chinese language and the Chinese culture. You are doing the Chinese regional studies, but students from China, once they come to Russia, they will study the Russian regions. In terms of the organization, those who are doing administering, we face lots of difficulties. You may understand that it requires special programs, or actually within one university, these classes have to be organized by a number of departments. So it means that actually some students have to study China and other students who come from China have to study Russia. In that sense, actually, it's more difficult for us to arrange all the things compared to the international relations or chemistry or physics. We, those who are doing the regional studies, we have our own profiles. Within the academic exchanges, it is very difficult to match those profiles. Moreover, probably you know that, for instance, in Russia, we have foreign regional studies as a subject. In Kazakhstan, correct me if I'm mistaken, I see Clara Makashev and other colleagues. As far as I understand, Kazakhstan also offers the foreign regions studies. And what issues we encountered is that China has a different approach, and they do not offer foreign regional studies. They offer classes in international relations and linguistics. But the foreign regional studies, as far as I understand, is not part of the curriculum of the syllabus. But again, this is not an insurmountable obstacle. But we have to be guided by this common spirit of cooperation, of friendship, the so-called SCO spirit, or Shanghai spirit. We try to meet each other halfway, to meet our partner universities halfway when we are agreeing on the programs. Despite all these difficulties, we do our best that the students who, for instance, come to the Russian People's Friendship University undergo all these hardships and could get a dual certificate. If we are meeting each other halfway, then the SCO university mission would be completed. Probably our colleagues would comment on that, especially the lady who is in charge of coordination among the SCO universities. Evgenia, over to you. Thank you so much, Denis. I'd rather listen what Maria thinks about that. I know that MSLU is a very strong university, especially it is remarkable for training Chinese. I know several professors from university. I'd like to specify, is it difficult for you to study in China because actually the instruction is done in Chinese? Not only you study Chinese, you mean my internship in the Beijing University? We don't have any core subjects on regional studies, so we study only Chinese. But actually, in China, they don't have regional studies. They have only political sciences and history and culture. As far as I remember, actually, my specialty is called the Chinese language and literature. Thank you so much, Evgenia, for noting that. This is what I really mentioned. There are lots of differences between our countries, but Russia and Central Asia, we have common past, common educational experience, common educational standards, which have a lot in common. And we have to converge our systems between Russia and China. Sadly, it will take some time. And this is with great pleasure that I'm passing the floor to our next speaker, Chen Yiveng. Yiveng, this is our main student who studies in Russia at the Regional Studies faculty. And originally he is from Dalian Foreign Languages Institute, and he will make a report on a very interesting topic. We before spoke about the programs, but here we're speaking about the practice. The regional topics dedicated to the cooperation between our countries within the SCO. And he will speak about
the
advantages and disadvantages of SCO security systems.
Oh, 卡住了。Здравствуйте, уважаемые коллеги.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. My name is Chen Yiveng. I will speak about advantages and disadvantages of SCO expansion.
各位老师、同学，大家好，我是陈德文。今天我的报告题目是
Good afternoon, dear colleagues, dear my supervisors. Further on, I'd like to speak about the advantages and disadvantages of the SCO expansion, which we see. Started from June 9th, 2017, the 7th SCO summit meeting took a decision to let in Beijing and Pakistan, and this way, India and Pakistan, and this way, SCO now lists 8 members in its body. It means that the SCO enters a new stage. It attests to the fact that the role and the importance of that organization at the international arena goes up. It must be said that, all in all, this organization includes about 1/3 of the population of the world, or even 44%. The aggregated GDP of the SCO member states is more than 20%. And I'd like to specify the advantages brought by the SCO expansion. First of all, this boosts the economic development of our countries, members of the SCO. Today, our country's population is quite huge, but still most of these people are living in dire conditions. And the joint development of our countries should help successful development of our nations. In particular, speaking about the statistics which is being held, according to the World Bank's data, So the records are kept for India starting from 1960s and for Pakistan starting from 1990s. We see the decrease in the subsidies for the population. So it means that, in essence, the profits are not evenly distributed, but step by step, the situation improves, and an even and fair distribution of the assets, of the profits, should become one of the driving forces for the economic growth. Second thing, this is about accession of new members to the SCO. This expansion will boost the economic interaction between the SCO member states. India and Pakistan. Its industrial and agricultural potential is quite mature. Such cooperation, further cooperation between them, bilaterally and multilaterally, may bring a lot of advantages. In particular, it should be said that India and Pakistan export a lot of subsoil minerals, agricultural products, and other items. Third thing, this is about the expansion of the energy cooperation, particularly India and Pakistan. Other countries which are actively using and consuming energy. These countries rely on the imported energy for electricity generation. Sometimes the imported energy accounts for 80%. Number 4, this is about the further cooperation and interaction and also connectivity between the nations in that region. India and Pakistan are interacting with Central Asia, and we have to further build common infrastructure. Besides, this has to help local enterprises in order to develop these markets and charter new markets. Next item is that the resources available in Russia can be directed in other regions in the framework of that trade. When the SCO member states are interacting, Russia, India, Pakistan, China, and other countries can more closely interact. And besides, it should be mentioned, India and Iran are boosting their mutual cooperation, and building such transport corridors between the countries have a very good future. We do believe that setting up hubs and transportation nodes would be very beneficial for all the SCO member states. This will help us to build a new site, a new platform within the SCO, and sadly, it will facilitate further development. In particular, the development of trade with the SCO member states already played into the hands of China. Regional security. Item number 5, the SCO can use its armed forces in order to provide for the regional security and to prevent any armed conflicts. But the SCO expansion has certain disadvantages at the same time, just like any other phenomenon. First of all, the first disadvantage is that the interaction is more sophisticated and more complicated. After accession to the SCO of the new members was approved, hostilities took place. I'm speaking about Kashmir region, which was home to multiple hostilities. In June 2017, the border troops of India entered the Chinese territory, which increased tensions in the relations between our countries and resulted in a standoff between them. And this situation posed certain challenge for these members of the SCO. Our further cooperation should embrace these things too. Number two, the question of agreement and coordination. As far as we have more members within the SCO, there are two types of agreements and coordinations, just the way it takes place in the United Nations and the way it takes place in the IMF. We had to understand what kind of interaction is more promising and more productive. In particular, for instance, it can be open voting. Is it an efficient tool for addressing problems or not? On the other hand, certainly, such voting is not always productive or efficient and may take a lot of time, and this is actually very labor-intensive work.
So we support the mechanism that SCO member states are currently using, but we see that it is now costing us more time and more effort. We need to look into optimization of this process. We live in countries that are very different. We have different cultures. We have different customs and traditions. When we look for common values, when we look for common approaches to different things, it's always a challenge. Shanghai Cooperation Organization develops a culture based on trust, based on mutual benefits, based on mutual respect. This is what we call the Shanghai spirit. We believe that we have good prospects in finding agreement between all member states. When India and Pakistan joined SCO, the diversity in the organization increased further, and it has become essential to find better common views and approaches to the challenges that we are faced with. We have different attitude and different approach to fighting terrorism. We know about the conflict in Afghanistan. We have different relations with the authorities of that country. And it definitely has an effect on regional relations. Matters associated with Afghanistan are looked at differently in India, in China, and in other countries. It is important that we should settle those disputes. It's important that we can act as one, putting together our strategies. So, like I said, there are advantages and disadvantages associated with the growth of SCO. we should make sure that we increase the benefits and reduce the problems, address the disputes and conflicts that still exist between our countries. That's all I have. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Very informative indeed. We probably would have a few comments, or maybe we have questions. It probably makes sense to bring up the questions first and then take comments. I have an announcement to make, if I may. I was very happy to hear this presentation in Chinese. For those of you who do not speak Chinese, I must say that you can use simultaneous interpretation. We have translation available in English and Chinese. We are going to have several presentations in Chinese. You can use interpretation button to listen to the presentation in the language that you are most comfortable with. Thank you very much for making that comment. I have to say a few things too. Once again, thank you for the presentation. It brought up some very urgent matters within SCO. Shanghai Cooperation Organization is growing bigger, and indeed, we are facing several controversies. There are disputes between China and India. There are controversies between India and Pakistan. We know that there is a bad wound on SCO's body, and the name of that wound is Afghanistan. We have very few options. Either we address our challenges together, or we are going to see players from outside of the region that will increase instability in our part of the world. We have to learn to overcome the difficulties in our relations, or we are going to have other people coming in and trying to impact the situation. We know about China and India. We know that India is a member of several organizations, not only SCO and BRICS. We know that India is a Quad member, together with Australia, Japan, and the United States. This is an organization that Americans created in Indian Pacific region to contain China. So we are witnessing a conflict of interests. India is a member state in SCO and in BRICS. On the other hand, it talks to another group of countries. I talk to students a lot, and we have many students from Bangladesh. They've been telling me, look, in recent years, Russia has become more pro-Pakistani. I'm telling them that we are not pro-Pakistani, we are not anti-Indian. In the past, we had stronger and better relations with India. However, if we want to develop SCO, we have to have very level, very clear relations with all member states. We had a certain bias in our relations with Pakistan. For a long time, we were not very friendly with Pakistan. Now we're interested in maintaining friendly relations with both countries, both with India and Pakistan. We need to create this atmosphere of trust. You have rightly stated that SCO is growing. Indeed, we are going to soon end up with as many member states as they have in European Union. Maybe you have been to European Union Parliament. They are open for visitors in Brussels. They speak very many different languages. When a parliament member takes the floor, he may have to mute his mobile phone, and he says it. And each phrase he says is translated into 20 different languages. We are witnessing something similar in SCO. We're going to see a lot of red tape, a lot of bureaucracy. In our cooperation, we use mostly Chinese and Russian. But now that India is with us, English is becoming a working language for us as well. English is probably not the language that should become the main core language for our organization. We have some values that we put in the center. In the division that I work for 2 years, we have had a project for development of Eurasian philosophy or ideology as a foundation for unity in Eurasian Union and Shanghai Cooperation Organization. We need this philosophy. Otherwise, we will not be effective. We have to be very clear about our goals and objectives. I can tell you that in our department, we continuously keep looking for solutions. We listen to different people. We know about the Eurasian ideas. Our colleagues from Kazakhstan are very supportive of this Eurasian concept. We know that in Iran and in Turkey, this Eurasian attitude is quite strong. There was one author who passed away a few years ago, Jannat Abulahud. You can check out the works of this American sociologist. This lady used a systemic approach to show that in the 13th century, in Eurasia, there were several states that were very well balanced. They lived in harmony. We had that period in history when we lived in peace. They lived in the atmosphere of trust. This was a very interesting piece of research indeed. With your permission, we have our colleague with Daulan University, and I would like to share my screen and show you an article. We have published this article 5 years ago. This is the screenshot. This is a picture. The president of Rudian University, Mr. Filipov, and next to him is the president of Daulan University of Foreign Languages, Asunuan Huyang, head of Rector's Office in SCO, and our president is the chairman of the board. This is an article that deals with the role of SCO University in matching and bringing together educational spaces in Eurasia. We have to make a long journey. This article was published by Russian Academy of Public Administration. This is a very interesting article indeed, and I encourage you to review it. In the meantime, we are ready for the next part. Evgenia, please tell me, we have two more presentations in Chinese. Maybe we can do this, and then we're going to have another presentation from Cheng Van Huo, who's going to speak in Russian. Maybe we should take presentations alternatively and take one in Chinese and one in Russian. Do you think this is a good idea? Chen Fanbo, are you with us? Can you hear us?
High School организацию сотрудничеством Пролетарианском университете иностранных языков. За предоставленные возможности участвовать.
Good morning, and thank you very much for an opportunity to speak at this conference. I'm going to speak about some cultural issues. This is quite in line with the subject of our forum, Education Without Borders. This subject is linked to many things that we study. We have studied the speech of Mr. Gorbachev at the CPSU Congress. We have studied the reforms in the system of education that is carried out in China. Our university is a part of this reform. Students are the focus of our work. We have done a thorough study of many documents. This was followed by a series of debates. When we studied the speeches of President Gorbachev, we looked at it in the context of bringing the cultures and positions of our nations closer together. We have worked with our colleagues from Russian universities. We have exchange students from Russia who study in Dowland University of Foreign Languages. These students go to the same classrooms with Chinese students. I must say that it is important to support and expand our exchange programs. This is a good example of the process of globalization. Such exchanges help our countries to interact in the field of economics and in the field of culture. We have a lot of very talented people in our countries, and we need to take those talents to the international level. We know that there are borders between countries, but there are no borders between cultures. Cultures are extremely versatile in different parts of the world. They're all unique, and they have their individual charm. We have very many types of classes in our universities. We believe that international students make great contribution to the international nature of our university. Visiting professors are also playing a big role. This is the environment that we are building, and this environment is helping us to be truly international. This year, we have faced a terrible pandemic. Students and professors cannot travel to other countries. They cannot study. They cannot teach. However, life goes on, and we enjoy the latest digital technologies that help us to still get classes taught by Russian professors. Intern Chinese professors have online courses for Russian students. Of course, there is a time difference. Of course, there are connectivity problems. But despite all that, we still are quite successful in our joint endeavors.
Thank you so much, Chen Fanbo. Any comments or questions?
Да-да-да, Евгений Юрьевич, да. Ага.
Нет, я просто хотела сказать, что...
I just wanted to say that I admire your Russian. We are very glad that more and more Chinese students get interested in Russia and the Russian language. And I really admired your Russian fluency. Thank you so much. You said a number of very interesting things. For instance, regarding the lectures, that the Russian professors are reading lectures to you. Several years ago, when we used to go to Dalyan to read lectures, to deliver lectures, it was a whole mission. We had to spend a whole week there, just obtaining visas and going over there, and suddenly we were received very well in the city of Dalyan, very hospitable, but in terms of organization, it was very difficult. And we know that many trips cannot take place because of that, but at the same time, due to the pandemic, and Evgenia will confirm that we held a number of courses for the Chinese students in the framework of the SCO. The courses were held by our professors. So it means that certain things can be arranged easier thanks to the online courses. Another thing is regional studies of Russia. We keep saying that the Chinese colleagues do not have foreign regional studies, and in Russia, the regional studies are only in its infancy. And every time when the Chinese students come to Russia, they would study the culture by books of Likachev. Do we know what subjects we are offering to the SCO member states? For instance, when the Chinese students go to Russia, what we tell them about Russia? When a Chinese student goes to Kazakhstan, what he's told about Kazakhstan? Do we have necessary scope of information we have to deliver? I think that there is something we have to think about. Probably not everything is perfect. We'd like to give a holistic picture about the culture, economy, policy, and law of this country. We have to give a holistic picture. This is not just the time is limited and we have a short supply of professors, but we'll do our best so that we could give a full picture, a complete picture. Let's move further. Our next speaker is New Shu Yui. Evgenia, what would be the topic of the presentation? Nishu Lyul is from the Russian People's Friendship University, Dalian University. She's going to defend her master's thesis. She'll speak about cooperation in the new age. Those who do not speak Chinese, please use the translation button next to the record button.
Здравствуйте, уважаемые организаторы и коллеги. Моя тема «Основные задачи, шансы
Good afternoon, dear
вызовы
colleagues. I will speak
развития
about the
Шанхайской
new chances,
организации
opportunities, challenges
сотрудничества».
in
Новый
the
перевод.
development of the SCO.
我的主要内容呢分为5个部分，然后首先是带领我们大家一块回忆上
My
海合作组
report
织
will
建立的
consist
一个
of
整个过
5
程。
thoughts.
由
First
于
of
时间
all,
的
I
关
will
系，我
tell you
的
about
主要
what
内
the
容是
SCO
主要
is.
是上海合作组织发展的任务和机遇以及
And
挑
as
战。
far as I am
下面我们
short of
简单的
time,
看一下
I
上海
will
合作
try
组织的一
to
个成立。
compress
上
some
海合作
parts
组
of
织
my
它是的
contribution.
它的发展前身就
So
是上海
the
合作是
SCO
上海5国组织，
this
其中包括中国、
organization
俄罗斯、
which
哈萨克斯
was
坦、
set
吉尔吉斯坦和塔吉克
up
斯坦。
on June 15th,
起初成立的主要目的和宗旨是维护本组织
It was
以及
initiated by
本组织
Russia,
各国内的
China,
安全和稳定，
Kazakhstan,
同时是加强
Uzbekistan,
人文合作以及反恐。
Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and it was pronounced on that date. And later on, it
上海
was
合作组织
succeeded
现在
by
主要成员国
India and
包
Pakistan
括
in
中国、俄罗斯、哈萨
2017.
克及吉尔吉斯坦。
The
2017
main
年
member states of
新
the
加入
SCO
了
are
印度和巴
Russia,
基斯坦。
China,
观察员国
Kazakhstan,
主要
and
包括
besides
蒙
in
古、阿富汗、伊朗和白俄罗斯。
2017, it was
对话
succeeded
伙伴
by
国主要有
India
阿塞拜疆、
and
亚美尼亚、
Pakistan.
尼泊尔、
Besides,
土耳
there
其
are some、
斯里兰卡和
observers
柬埔寨。
nations, Iran, Belarus,
这是一个简单的
Mongolia.
图。
There are partners on the dialogue.
下面我们看
Nepal,
一下，就是上海
Turkey,
合作组
Sri
织为什么要
Lanka.
建立？上海合作组织建立的必要性是因为，
And I'd like to
当初上
highlight
海合作组
why
织5国，其主要任务就
was
是为了制
necessary
止
to
中
set
亚
up the
中亚
SCO.
的恐怖主义
Originally,
活
there
动
was a
以及
mechanism
分裂主义、极端主义。
of the so-called
成立
five
之
SCO
初的
member
主要目的
states
就是来对付这
The
三国
SCO
恶势力。
was necessitated by the driver of the regional security.
其中在中亚地区呢，一直有一个比较热点问题，就是恐怖主义的蔓延和活动。其中呢，在上海合作组织成员国内呢，还包含着阿富汗问题。以及印巴冲突，还有俄罗斯国内的车臣问题，这些恐怖主义和分裂主义势力是这些国家有着共同的合作利益，促使了当初上海合作组织的成立。第3块主要内容主要是阐述上海合作组织发展的一个简单的历程。大致分为4块。第一阶段主要包括从1996年到2001年，这是上海合作组织成员的一个萌芽阶段。第2阶段是2001年到2004年，这是上合组织的一个建立的起步阶段。其重要事件主要包括2011年6月14日到15日。中国、俄罗斯、哈萨克、吉尔吉斯坦、塔吉克斯坦和乌克兰6国元首在上海合作组织在上海举行了首次会谈，并签署了上海合作组织成员宣言，正式宣告着上合组织的诞生。第3阶段是2004年到2017年，这是上合组织成长壮大的一个阶段。到2017年6月9日，随着印度和巴基斯坦的正式加入，上合组织首次完成了扩员任务，发展成为了有8个正式成员国、4个观察员国和6个对话伙伴，共18个国家组成的欧亚地区最大的一个国际组织。第4阶段主要是2017年6月到至今，这是上合组织的一个巩固发展阶段。在这一阶段呢，上合组织以成功的发展为人口占世界人口25%，从25%上升到40%，GDP 的占比由全球的15%增长到25%。这是
Before,
这是上合
actually,
组织
the SCO
上合组织发展的
population
一个
was
主要
22%.
峰
Now
会
this is more than 20%.
办
In
地，
terms of the
其中有4
GDP,
次在中
SCO
国召开，
increased
最
its
近的一次是
capacity
第18次
dramatically.
峰会，2018年6月在中国青岛召开。
We
嗯，
may see that
上
the 17th
上
meeting
合组
quite
织新世
recently
纪发
was
展的主
held
要任
in
务。
China.
经过17年的发展，上合组织以其
The
自身的
key
发展，成功地
objective
证
in
明
the
了具
development
有
of
其
the
强大的
SCO
生
in
命
the
力，
new
并迎来了
age
一个
is
10年
about,
气候
first of
继往
all,
开来的重要时刻。
the following. 17 years since its
我们看一下
foundation,
上海
the
合组织发展的主要
SCO
任务
proved to be quite
其中包
efficient
括
in
第一
addressing
个
dramatic
主要
problems.
是
The key
要确
problems it may address, first of all, this is about
第一个任务主要是确立中长期的战略目标。上合组织成立以来不断发展壮大，有效地应对了各种威胁和挑战，维护了成员国的经济和社会稳定，成为欧亚地区最
this
大的一个组织。
concerns the economic questions
第
and
二个
economic
是明确
stability.
区域国际组织的定位。随着印度
Number two
和巴基斯坦的加入，上合组织面临的一个最主要问题就是，是定向于南亚地区，还是以原本的中亚地区为核心的一个发
This
展
is about the
方向定
regional
位。第
sustainability,
三
the
个是
development
修
at the
订和完
regional
善
level.
基础性法律
And
文件，
after India and
包括
Pakistan
贸易
acceded to the organization,
反
it
恐
has
合
become more
作，
obvious.
以及
Number
人为
three
领域的相关。第四部分是
streamlining
根
of
据
the regulations in our countries. Number four,
根据精干高效原则，改善组织机构。
this concerns
这一改善的原因主要是
improvement
基于印度和
of the
巴基斯坦的
mechanisms
加
of the
入，
organization
是
doing some
这两个世仇国家
and
需要有一个协调的机制。第五个主要任务是突出重点，坚
the
定推
work
进地区合作。
questions raised by the reform of the governance.
在上合组织
And we have
不断发展的同时呢，也面临着
interact
新时
in
期的
the
机遇和
offer
挑战。
regional
当前国际
development
地区
and
形势
security.
正在发生着深刻复杂的变化，而上合组织同样也
What
处在
are
一
the
个大发展
challenges
大变革
that
的一个
we
世界
have，to
面临
face?
着转机升级以及再创辉煌的重要契机。
The SCO finds itself in a very difficult situation. And we see that the
下面
role
看一
of
下
the
上海合组织面临的
SCO
主要的机遇
has
和
augmented.
主要的
Look at the opportunities
上海
offered
合
by
作
the
组织发展
SCO.
的主要机遇主要包括着以下4个部分。第一个是中国，中国作为建设中国特色的社会主义大国，其综合国力和势力在国际发展中一直处于高升阶段。第二个发展的一个重要机遇，就是作为上合组织双引擎的俄罗斯。俄罗斯一直在面临着美国和西方世界的打压和制裁，这迫使着俄罗斯有迫切的需要，来进一步来加大和发展同上合组织成员国之间的合作。第三个是近年来中亚成员国中国以及周边国家地区的关系明显改善。合作意愿也逐渐增强，在解决困扰各方多年边界以及水资源问题上，取得了突破的成效，为推进上海合作组织整体发展营造了一个良好的环境和氛围。第4个是印巴的加入，为上海合作组织增添了新的活力，为中俄印搭建了新的重要合作平台，也为中亚地区提供了新的广阔市场和出海通道。这是上海合作组织所面临的新的发展机遇。存在着机遇的同时，也面临着复杂的挑战。挑战主要是从外部环境和内部环境2方面来看。从外部环境上来看，主要是来自于美国以及西方国家势力的打击。比如说2017年12月，美国总统特朗普出台了新的一份国家安全战略，就明确地将中国和俄罗斯定为修正主义国家和战略竞争对手。采取了一系列严峻的措施来打压中国和俄罗斯。比如在中国问题上，复杂。是台湾问题不断复杂化，以及南海问题国际化，这是对中国体现的一种严重挑战。而在俄罗斯方面，在乌克兰问题和叙利亚方面，美国也一直与俄罗斯处处为敌。
Also has a number of frozen conflicts, such as the Syrian issue and the situation in the southeastern part of Ukraine. Therefore, we can interact with each other more fruitfully. And besides, we can interact along the lines of the SCO. We are addressing new challenges. There are some internal things, internal moments, naturally. We have to put in front of us some long-term goals.
我的报告内容到此结束，谢谢。
This concludes my remarks. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this, your contribution. Any questions to the speaker? Any comments? Anything? I have one question.
你好，
How did it get
阅读了相关方面的一些杂志和文章，然后做的此报告。
Thank you so much and good afternoon. Originally, I read some literature on that and read some articles on that topic, and hence is my presentation.
谢谢。
And I hope that you will make more interesting presentations on that topic. Thank you so much. I actually did hope that Shuyu would say that he got all this knowledge from our university, and he said that he was reading books and articles. Well, I'm always glad when the students aspire to something on their own. Thank you so much. What I can note, probably following the results of our roundtable, we can come up with the recommendation that we need a scientific conference within the SCO so that we could speak without being limited in time, not just a couple of hours, but spending a couple of days on the expansion and development of the SCO. Then we'll understand the approaches of each other, and this would shape our common understanding of the SCO. You spoke about the expansion of the SCO. I'd like to note two things. What the impact of the international organizations consists of. First of all, this is about the power of the proponents of these organizations. How many strong countries are members of this or that organization? We know that Russia is the strongest country in military terms, and China is the strongest country in economic terms. And our joint potential is huge. India, Pakistan, and other countries, including Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan. Our joint potential is just huge. In essence, we underestimated. And later on, probably I will show to you some calculations. But if we assess the material potential of the SCO countries, it is about 1.5 times more than the economic potential of the NATO countries. There is an indicator for an aggregated index, CINC. And SCO countries are 50% stronger than the NATO member states in that respect. So the SCO countries have 36% of this indicator, and NATO countries have only 25% of that indicator. And also we have to note the soft power. Influence is about a social structure or social phenomena. If we speak a lot about these organizations, then they would become influential. we pay attention to that, and in that sense, these organizations have certain impact. That is something we can work on. We did a big analysis at our department, at our chair. I will show to you one slide so that you could know what clout I'm implying. The number of mentions in the media, NATO compared to the SCO. So we looked at TASS news agency. If we look at Xinhua, how much it mentions the SCO and NATO. So the orange stands for NATO and the blue curve stands for the SCO. And we see that in 2018, NATO and the SCO were mentioned the same number of times. Xinhua news agency equalized the influence of the SCO and NATO. So it means that we're speaking about the social phenomena. The more we speak about the SCO, the more we make reports on the SCO, the more we believe in the SCO, the more influential it becomes because it engulfs our minds. And I appreciate very much and welcome very much the reports which were made, and that's good that New Shuyui is very much concerned about the problems and the future for more influence of the SCO. That's a very serious problem that we have to work on altogether. Let's move forward. We have one more presentation by Zhao Ze. Zhao Ze, over to you. Evgenia, can you tip me about the topic of that presentation? Zhao Ze, this is our student, for woman, and she's very much helpful in arranging all the things. And she's a representative of the Italian University. Thank you so much for this representative. She'll speak about
this presentation is going to deal with the common future of SCO countries and ways of development. Good morning, colleagues. I'm Zhao Ze. I came from Shandong University. Now I study in the Regional Studies Department at Rudian University. This is a part of SCO exchange program. I would like to talk about the concept of common fate in SCO. I am going to deliver this presentation in Chinese. Please use simultaneous interpretation. There will be 4 parts in my presentation. I'm going to talk about the concept of common fate. I will talk about some basic principles. What is it all about, the community with common fate? In June 2018 in Sindao, SCO states leaders had a meeting. This was the meeting at which India and Pakistan were adopted in the organization. President Xi Jinping made a speech, and he talked about the common fate of our nations. He said that we need to create this community of common fate, which should be based on peace, security for all. This should be an inclusive community that should develop in harmony. In June of that year, several publications were released, we can say that now the concept has become more clear. We do have common values. We do understand how we can benefit from collaboration. We understand the emotional aspect of our cooperation. All of these things belong to the concept of common fate. We are looking at common values, at our idea of sovereignty, at our path of development, at our worldview, and attitude to various global developments. SCO countries have practically no hostilities. All nations appreciate strong security. We try to resist the threats that we see coming from the outside. We understand that we can benefit greatly from our cooperation. We have a lot of common interests. We have similar development models. We can say that we are going forward in harmony and our relations are balanced. We all want to treat our partners as equals. We value the cultures of all nations in our community. We are all independent countries, but we are traveling together in this journey. We have many things that we share. Shared security is a good foundation to build upon. It's a good starting point for development of a common spirit. This is a spirit of equality, spirit of trust and mutual respect for our differences. We have a clear idea about the legal aspects of our collaboration. We are building mechanisms that help us work together. They are well-engineered mechanisms and they run in good health with the laws and regulations supporting this cooperation. We are making good headway. We have many bilateral agreements and we have many multilateral formats of cooperation. We do things together economically, culturally, politically. All these fields are important. Whenever we have a common interest, all leaders of our states talk about these things, and together we can create mechanisms for achieving the objectives that we set for ourselves. We have various mechanisms for communication at a ministerial level, at the agency level. We have good trade relations. We do a lot of things to harmonize our agricultural programs. We harmonize our legal systems. We bring our customs systems closer together. All SCO countries have a role to play. And our organization becomes more and more recognized throughout the world. We believe that SCO has a big role to play, and every member state feels that the organization gives a lot. We do things in different areas. I said that we have a lot of business contacts. We are building trust. Russia is an important engine in this work. We have new members joining the organization. That adds new challenges to our work. Today, we have 8 formal members, and we need to align our strategies. We all admit the fact that we live in a multipolar world. We try to address the contradictions between our countries, like those that still exist between India and Pakistan. There is a theory of Chinese threat. Some people continue to talk about it in some countries. We know that this is a popular theme in Central Asia. Many people are feeling concerned about Chinese presence. And of course, we have to take all this into account. We need to address those concerns. In 2016, there was a publication in Azerbaijan that said that China was going to take over the whole region, and it presented a big security threat. China said that new border infrastructure should be built at the border between Tajikistan and Afghanistan. Some people claimed that this was an attempt to build military infrastructure, which was very far from the truth. We know that there are some geopolitical frictions out there. There are 2 big challenges. SCO, as an organization, has to deal with other organizations like Eurasian Economic Union. We need to align our policies. We need to find well-balanced approaches to our relations. We need to, first of all, agree between each other. We need to protect our values from outsiders. And we create our values. This is not an instantaneous process. We need to fully understand the threats that we are facing. We need to know where we are strong. We need to have a strategy. We have to agree what we want to do together in the field of security. We should strengthen our cooperation. We need to build appropriate security mechanisms and threat response measures. I talked quite a bit about values. We must be able to prove that we do have common values, and common action would be the best proof of that. As I said, we have a lot of bilateral agreements. We should expand that into multilateral formats, we should be able to find common grounds between all members of the organization, old and new. Of course, we should use the new digital technologies in this work. Our humanitarian cultural cooperation plays a very big role. We need to look at people's sentiments, at people's attitudes in all SCO member states. Building a common fate is a new concept, and it's about common views, common security, common interests. We believe that we need to cope with the domestic challenges and common international challenges that we are faced with. Thank you very much. A very interesting concept indeed. I think that we are going to have comments and questions for the presenter. The floor is now open. Let me make a few comments to get the ball rolling. We look very carefully at the Chinese concept of common future of mankind. We don't have full clarity in this field, but we are still trying. And if you allow me, I would like to share with you one of recent articles by Anatoly Tsvik, an assistant professor in our department. This is a publication that he made together with several other people. This publication deals with the Chinese foreign policy. A very thorough piece of research indeed. I encourage you to look at it closely. We see what China is doing internationally, and I'm happy to tell you that we are soon going to see a new book by Yevgeny Grachikov, who writes about the Chinese approach to international relations. There are several theories described in this book. This is the book that will become available shortly. It has been published by Aspect Press Publishing House. We talked about Eurasian collaboration. We know that there is a Russian approach. We know that there is a Central Asian approach, and there is a Chinese approach. The concept of common fate comes from from China. I think that the international scholar community should study all these concepts and teach students using these concepts. The more we think about it, the more we write about it, the better we understand the authors of these concepts and the essence of those strategies. I know that there is a very strong community of international scholars. We know that there is a very strong school of social studies and political studies in the United States. The theory of international relations is mostly built on Western foundations. We are familiar with neorealism concept and several other theories. We want to have a system of teaching in Eurasia that would be based on some of our theories as well. And we do feel the need for more articles, more studies in this field, studies of Russian-Chinese relations in the context of common mankind fate. It's not only about Russia and China relations from standpoint of neorealism. That is the Western approach. We need to promote our approach to such studies. Regional studies and international relations, they're all a part of social studies. And this is the field where we have a large part of science with quite a bit of ideology. Through such conferences, we can make good headway, although I think we're just in the beginning of a long journey. I would like to open the floor for comments. I would encourage our colleagues from Central Asia to make their comments. Clara Makasheva is with us at this video conference. If you have any comments from Kazakhstan, this would be highly appreciated. Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, I am very glad that you invited me to this workshop. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Mr. Diktarov. Thank you, Ms. Katkova. This is a very well-organized event. Today, I heard quite a bit about the expansion of SCO. SCO University has become an excellent platform that brings together students from SCO member states. I was very happy to listen to the presentations. It was very interesting to hear about different views on expansion of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, hear about benefits and problems, advantages and disadvantages. I fully agree with what you said, Mr. Diktarov. We should have more events. 2 hours of this workshop is not enough. We should invite more students to participate in this work.
We have to discuss not only the SEO issues, but we have to invite the students to speak on their own topics, making their own presentations, so that the students could showcase what they got in Russia, what they got in China. I'm just very glad that today we have a lot of students participating in that session. We have 150 students who participated at that roundtable, and that's a big success of the whole endeavor. And the credit goes to the organizers of that conference. When the representatives of Dalian University were speaking, I wanted to say that our May students used to go to Dalian University. Not only they spent a year or a term there, not only they got a certificate that they studied there, but one of our May students even got married there. So this is not just about education, but also this is about life. She came back with her groom, so he's not a Chinese, he's a Kazakh who had a job there in China. So in internship, this is a good opportunity for our students to expand their views. You may start your studies in one university and complete your studies in a totally different university, obtaining 2 certificates. And this roundtable I'm present at today, this is only a beginning. of a big cause. As our President Nazarbayev says that a long way starts with the first step. And I think that we have made this first step, and it was really a success. Thank you. The organizers like to thank the students. The contributions were very interesting. And really, I enjoyed that very much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Professor Mukasheva. You told us about the Shanghai spirit in action. This is about interracial marriages. And we have also a representative of Tajikistan University. Tajikistan, do you hear us? We see that you are present, you are connected, you are online. Can you hear us? Tajikistan. We see there are lots of you there, colleagues, so we'd like to welcome all of you here. Probably you have any remarks? We have some connection problems.
Мы видим, что очень много нас коллег, да, это Таджикском национальном университете, да, одном из участников.
We have lots of representatives from Tajikistan. Unfortunately, we cannot hear anything. It is inaudible. Yes, you are audible now. Today, we invited most active and proactive students from Tajikistani State University. We are very grateful for that conference. We are glad that Tajikistan is cooperating with the SCO. And that in 2021, Tajikistan will take it over from Russia, becoming the president of the SCO. Any concluding remarks, colleagues? Do we have anyone from Kyrgyzia?
Киргизия, Бишкек у нас есть из Киргизии.
Kyrgyzia or Bishkek? Is anybody out there? Once we have no volunteers to speak up, then let us wrap it up. I'm told that we are running out of time. Really, it was very interesting. It was very informative, a very warm and welcome atmosphere. I just think that we felt this Shanghai spirit. Along with my co-moderator, Evgenia, we would be glad to see you again. And welcome to the Russian People's Friendship University, and we'll be glad to see you within the SCO. Thank you so much. There is one question from Madina Alyaurova.
Здравствуйте, слышно меня?
Да, вполне, да.
Can I ask you a question? My name is Madina Alyaurova from the Electric Communications University. What are the training terms? As far as I understand, actually, we may spend only one term in the internship. One of my postdoc students went to St. Petersburg, and a problem arose. Completing 1 year, she decided to go to St. Petersburg for the third term, and she was offered actually the training from the first year, meaning that she had to cover the same subjects which she has already covered.
Спасибо большое. Но мы сегодня о проблемах тоже.
Thank you so much. So we spoke about the problems, and probably I will pass it over to Evgenia in terms of the curriculum and syllabus. As I said, there are some problems. We have different specialties. And certainly, there is no streamlining between the curricula and syllabus. So linguistics cannot be matched with the original studies, and each of our universities has to meet each other halfway. And then, in essence, we will be a success. Evgenia, I'm passing it over to you, but those of you who are responsible for the international cooperation, please meet each other halfway. We're told that actually we have run out of time, so please write to me personally. I will write on the chat. We have to free the virtual Zoom conference for the next roundtable. Thank you so much. Evgenia, please indicate your email address, so get in touch with Evgenia on that issue. Thank you so much once again. And still again, hopefully we'll see again online and offline. Thank you and